Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Grassman Chronicles episode of the Pukwudgie. And I love saying the Pukwudgie, so we're going to cover the Pukwudgie. And hello, John, checking in early. Tilting Windmill and Zach. Hello, Zach. Good to see everybody. I am doing a series on Ohio cryptids, and the Pukwudgie came up on the list, and I had to cover the Pukwudgie. Sitting in the dark here today because I wanted to wear my Grassman Chronicles shirt. And, the green shirt just doesn't work with a green screen, right? So, Grassman Chronicles shirt day. And thank you again, YouTube Punk, for the artwork. Hello, Wild World. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I hadn't heard of the Pukwudgie either. Interesting little fella here we're going to cover. And left-handed Jedi, too. Everybody checking in. I do broadcast this on both channels. The Captive Desk has a lot of variety of content. But if you just want cryptids, that's what the Grassman Chronicles is for. And that's why it also has its own channel. Sometimes folks ask, and it's kind of a separate thing, right? I cover a lot of stuff on my channel, and if folks just want the cryptid content, that's what the Grassman Chronicles is, and that's why we call these episodes the Grassman Chronicles, and there's a channel, the Grassman Chronicles. And again, Ohio cryptids, of course, and Grassman Chronicles, we have covered the Grassman. Grassman is one of the cousins of the Bigfoot, in case folks don't know. Now you know. We also have some other cousins of the Bigfoot, and that's going to be coming up to pretty soon, too. So we have Bigfoot, we have Grassman, and we have Orange Eyes, and there may be another one. I know one of them is Orange Eyes. So we will be covering... I don't have my list handy. Darn it. But there is another one. We have a lot of cousins of the Bigfoot here. And in going through the list of Ohio cryptids, I came across the Pukwudgie. And I hadn't heard of it. And it's got a great name. And it's an interesting little story that goes all the way back to the Northeast. And maybe, in other places too, because it's similar to some other ones. So we're going to check that out. Hello, Ape. How you doing? Good to see you. All hail Bigfoot. And let me see here. Let's get the story up. And here we go. I hope you enjoy this exploration into the Pukwudgie. Hello and welcome to the Grassman Chronicles, where we are taking a deep dive into the shadowy corners of Ohio's forests, fields, and folklore in a continuing series on Ohio cryptids to uncover the hidden beasts that lure just beyond the campfire's glow. In this episode, we will explore encounters with the Pukwudgie. A Pukwudgie is a human-like creature of Wampanoag folklore. Descriptions vary slightly between tribes, but the Pukwudgie is almost always about 2 to 3 feet tall. That'd be a meter or a little short of a meter for the rest of the world that measures in metric. Sorry, we don't do it here. The Pukwudgies are usually covered in gray hair or earth-toned skin, sometimes hairy or spiky, especially along the back, with a large nose, glowing eyes, and sometimes sharp teeth. Known for disappearing and reappearing at will. Pukwudgies are often blamed for mysterious lights in the forest, voices in the dark, and disappearances that defy explanation. Excuse me. In some legends, Pukwudgies can even control minds, use poison darts, or cast fire. The fear was real, and in some communities, it still is. Small, spiny, and dangerous, the Pukwudgie may not be as large as the Grassman, or well known in Ohio as the Mothman. But make no mistake, the smaller-sized cryptid can pack a supernatural punch. We can go back into some Native American lore to better understand the Pukwudgie. To the original tellers of this tale, the Wampanoag, and forgive me if it's not the proper inflection, I'm doing phonetics here, the Wampanoag people of the northeastern United States, particularly in what is now Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and parts of New York and Pennsylvania. Their stories spoke of Pukwudgies as forest-dwelling spirits deeply connected to the land, but prone to mischief and worse. In traditional tales, the Pukwudgie was originally a benign helper to humans. But when people began to praise another spirit, Moshop, a giant protector of the Wampanoag, the Pukwudgies grew resentful and turned against humanity. The result, the little beings began pushing people off cliffs, setting fires, stealing children, and luring travelers to their doom. Stories tell of Moshop, the benevolent giant and legendary protector of the Wampanoag people, once walked the lands of what is now Massachusetts and Rhode Island, shaping the landscape with his immense power. And let me pull up for everybody here. There we go. We're talking the Northeast United States all the way down and across into Ohio and Indiana. Just for perspective and for folks that may not be around here. Welcome to the United States map. So we're talking about the Northeast with the Pukwudgie and what is now Massachusetts and Rhode Island, shaping the landscape with his immense power. He was a creator figure, said to have formed islands with handfuls of earth, and to have kept the Wampanoag safe from dangers, both natural and supernatural. For a time, he coexisted peacefully with all creatures of the land, including the small magical beings known as Pukwudgies. And I'm going to say it again. Pukwudgies. That's a great name. It's got to be the greatest name for a cryptid since Bigfoot. Seriously. These forest-dwelling tricksters, once neutral or even helpful spirits, began to grow jealous of the love and reverence the Wampanoag showed to Moshop. Their envy soon turned to bitterness. Feeling overshadowed and forgotten, the Pukwudgies turned against both Moshop and humanity. They began to harass the Wampanoag, causing mischief at first, but soon escalating to acts of malice, luring people into the woods, stealing children, and even causing harm through magical means. In some versions of the tale, the Pukwudgies attempted to kill Moshop himself, managing to wound him or drive him away. With Moshop gone or in retreat, the Wampanoag were left more vulnerable to the Pukwudgies' wrath. This rupture marked a dark turning point in the mythos, transforming the Pukwudgies from playful wooden spirits into feared tricksters and deadly foes, and leaving the Wampanoag without their giant guardian in the face of supernatural threats. So, how did a creature rooted in New England tribal lore end up in Ohio and all the way over into Indiana. Well, as the tribes moved, merged, and interacted, especially during forced relocations, so too did their stories. Ohio, with its deep indigenous history and rich landscape of forest, gorges, and caves, became fertile ground for these legends to take root. Over time, settler stories and Appalachian folklore, layered into the native tales, transformed the Pukwudgie from a spirit of vengeance into something even stranger, a regional cryptid. In Ohio, particularly southern and eastern parts of the state, locals have reported eerie sensations of being watched, hearing whispers, or seeing small, spiny figures darting through the underbrush. While these stories may seem like superstition, they echo centuries of indigenous warnings. Though not as commonly reported as Bigfoot, modern Pukwudgie sightings in Ohio do occur, and they share striking similarities with both ancient legends and sightings from other states, like I said, from Indiana to Massachusetts. Some of the recent sightings include, in Adams County in 2006, 2 hikers near the Serpent Mound reported seeing a childlike figure with coarsely gray skin and a ridge of spiny hair along its back. When they aimed a flashlight at it, it vanished. Later, they heard laughter and saw faint blue lights circling them as they left the trail. In 2012, in the Shawnee State Forest, a wildlife photographer claimed he woke to the feeling of tiny hands rifling through his gear. He glimpsed a hunched figure darting away, leaving behind tiny upright footprints in the mud. Locals dismissed it as a raccoon. He insists it wasn't. And ongoing in the Hocking Hills area, numerous hikers report being followed by lights, lured off trail, or experiencing the unsettling feeling of being watched. Some describe seeing small humanoid shapes moving quickly between the trees at dusk. Let me go back to my picture. There we go. And the Pukwudgies also seem to share characteristics with other global and regional folklore creature. We have the duendes in Central South America, small tricksters often blamed for theft or mischief. We have leprechauns in Ireland, nature-bound beings with a fondness for pranks. You have Tommyknockers, which is mining folklore, small underground spirits who warn or mislead miners. And we have the little people in Cherokee and other tribes, often unseen, always unpredictable. These comparisons lead some to believe that the Pukwudgie might not be a unique cryptid, but part of a larger phenomenon, one that crosses cultures and continents. So why do stories of tiny tricksters endure? Some folklorists suggest they serve as cautionary tales, reminding us not to stray too far from camp or to disrespect nature. Others believe these stories help explain the unexplainable. The lost hiker, the misplaced gear, the eerie voices in the woods. And then there are the believers, those who insist that the Pukwudgie is not only real, but still very much active in Ohio's wild places. So, in closing, Whether it's an ancient tribal spirit, a cryptid with magical abilities, or something else entirely, the Pukwudgie remains one of Ohio's most mysterious and lesser known forest dwellers. It may be small, but it casts a long shadow through the legends of the Buckeye State. Next time you're hiking in Ohio forests and feel a sudden chill, or see a flicker of light that seems to beckon you deeper into the woods, think twice. You might have just crossed paths with a Pukwudgie. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, leave a comment with your own unusual encounters, and join us next time as we explore another eerie legend from Ohio's rich folklore. Until then, keep your eyes open, cameras at the ready, and always be prepared when you venture into Ohio's forests. And I hope everybody enjoyed the Pukwudgie. We have look at the trees in the chat. Good to see you, trees. I hope you keep an eye out for the Pukwudgie. We have Jester. We have Jess. Good to see you. Scott Duke. The Trusty Ape. Jedi. Appreciate everybody coming through. Tori's here too. And yeah, we saw Zach earlier. We have Zach here. Great to see everybody stopping. I saw Wild World earlier. Always great to see you. Another great channel. Make sure you check that out. And John, again, was here early. Tilting Windmill. Dropping the emojis. Much appreciated. And Deconverted Man. Good to see you. Yeah, so Pukwudgie's a little troublemaker, and sometimes he's got a pointy stick, so watch out. And some folks think porcupine, raccoon, raccoons are mischievous. But, of course, these stories grow. As I mentioned, the legends merge. And who doesn't like a good story around the campfire? And of course, when you're out, you do see things in the forest. You hear things in the forest. And when you're telling a story around the campfire, it just adds to it. And I can certainly understand why these things have persisted for so long through so many cultures. Because who doesn't like a good spooky story around the campfire, right? So, yeah, I will be continuing. More Ohio cryptids to come. I think I'm about halfway through the list, maybe. We've covered, let's see. We've covered the Grassman. We've covered the Mothman. We have covered Bessie. We have covered the Pukwudgie. And let me see. But and I've I have done a Dogman, but we're going to revisit Dogman for the Ohio Dogman, because we also have a Dogman in Ohio. So that's going to be like a, Dogman getting around type video. So let's see. And then we have a couple cousins of the Bigfoot. We have another lake monster in Ohio. We have the big frog in Ohio. And let's see, I think there are maybe one or two others. So upcoming, there'll be plenty of Ohio cryptids. We'll cover those. And I've also got some other things coming in. So those might be mixed in there as well. So look forward to a lot more Grassman. I've been a little behind lately. Folks that follow the Captive Desk know we've been doing some live shows here and doing some other stuff. And Lots of other great folks have had me on their channels and doing collab stuff with them. And we've been busy, busy, busy. And so I'm sorry. I think I'm like a month or two behind on the Grassman. So shame on me. I will get caught back up. We'll have a lot more Grassman episodes to come. All right? Promise. All hail Bigfoot. And again, everybody, thanks for stopping by. And I'll see y'all next time. All right? You have a good one.